Hello, hello, hello. We've got so many seconds before, so we're early.
Not late.
Your clocks are fast. Evening Bewitched. Hope you're well. BT evening. Hope everybody's good in chat tonight. And oh look, you're seeing us again for the second time today.
I know.
Oh, you're honoured. I've only just woke up not long ago.
Oh, one of you.
Evening Penny. Hope you're well.
Penny.
Yeah, I've not long been awake. Evening Scott.
Hey,
Oh, I needed a nap after that afternoon live.
Well, at least you're for one today, Scotty.
Karen, Craig, good evening. I'm actually oh dear, them bloody challenges do my head in.
I still don't feel very well.
He's not been sick though.
And
so.
no, before anybody else, I haven't had anything to eat since I did them challenges.
No, he hasn't changed my battery. He hasn't. Johnny Satan is here. Afternoon, evening, Johnny. How are you, my love? Like, because it's light outdoors, I keep thinking it's afternoon. I hate the fact that it's light nights now because these are my favourite nights. Evening, Smelly Cat. Hope you're okay. But light nights, my favourite nights to go out investigating, just because I can see.
Hey, John, Matt.
I can see where everybody is.
Welcome,
Evening,
everybody
John.
joining.
Hope you're well, Denise. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, guys, if you don't mind, please share.
Still repeating.
Share that we're live, if you don't mind.
Sharing's caring.
Sharing's caring. Evening, Sandy. I hope you're well.
I think I'm coming down off that sugar rate today.
Oh dear. Sending your hugs back, my lovely too. But yeah, I think he did have a bit of a sugar rush. I know before we went off, somebody said I've had my nails done, or have I done these myself? I think it was Penny. These are just them stick-on nails that are like.
Mine done in a bit.
I buy like 500 nails, and I just stick them on and just paint them myself. When I have them done properly, my own nails go a bit tacky underneath, so I do them myself. I haven't had dinner yet. Been chatting and singing happy birthday to Colonel Tom. Yes. I clapped the NHS. I didn't clap. Oh, do you know, Johnny? You should always clap the NHS. The NHS have done nothing wrong. So yes, we've done his clap, and we've also lit his candle. So on his windowsill. So that's us. Yeah. It's funny because on our estate, if we go at back door,
growing it back though,
there's people like clapping, and if we go at front door, there's people like clapping. And what we've been doing is going at back door, where one needs to go at front and one needs to go at back, because we've got neighbours doing it on all sides, so neighbours don't think we're doing it. Post is exactly. It's not just to NHS; it's to all the key workers. It is. Do you know, Johnny? You and your conspiracy theories and things like that.
Hey,
but do you know what? We're all entitled to his own opinion.
We are.
And that's one good thing.
And as it says, we all
evening, Jasmine. Shell, my lovely. How are you? No way they look fab. I missed mine. Had to remove them till I get them done again. Just buy fake ones. Just go online on eBay or somewhere like that. And
paint my nails later.
I sometimes get them stiletto ones. I like the stiletto ones, but they're quite when you scratch.
Everybody's joining.
Yeah, just get them and just put them to your own nails. Really good, really good. And if you use super glue, they'll stay on longer. I don't use super glue though, because I always ping mine off. Evening, Barbara. Hope you're well. Jolie, hello. Just come in 3, 4, 4 hours, but we clap loudly. Also sing happy birthday. I actually forgot to sing happy birthday to Colonel Tom, and nobody was doing it, so I didn't. Nobody sang happy birthday.
You know, this week fireworks. Well, I just read a post on Facebook about.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know if I'm in with these fireworks or not. Because you got to think of all animals, haven't you? Dogs and cats and everything.
When you're doing fireworks and that. So clapping, yeah.
I don't know about
amazing nose pickers though. They are, Penny. They're amazing at nose picking.
Oh, I want some.
Hey, dear. Evening, little Gem. Hope you're well. Well, tonight you know that it's ghost story night. We've found a few. John's they're very hard to find, these ghost stories, I'll tell you now.
And every website I seem to go on, I looked at that last time. I'm sure I did.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of them. Some of these stories might be repeated because I forget what I read last time. But some of them will be new again because I have gone on a different site this time. But what you tend to do is you tend to find that they like repeat the stories, don't they? Oh, my arm's hurting. So
I thought you were saying my arms stink or something. I thought you were like,
no, my arm's hurting. I did something yesterday to my arm. Yeah,
it's not to do with me.
Now I see that John cut his hair. I cut it for him, Jasmine.
It's growing back.
Karen says challenges. Can't do no more challenges yet. He feels
no eating challenges.
Too poorly. He's not feeling very well. But we will be doing some more. Hi guys, don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to Peter. I did forget. Yeah, I said happy birthday to. I don't think I said Peter, but a big happy birthday to
Peter Webster.
Peter Webster.
I hope you are well, my friends.
Yes, and looking forward to coming across and catching up with you and your family.
I would say save us some cake, but I don't know when we're going to be down. So. And to be honest, I couldn't eat cake today anyway. I
finally made it here. I thought I was going somewhere else when I clicked on the notification.
Well, unfortunately, Barry, you ended up here.
Yeah, evening, Maligator. John meant to ask how you're feeling.
Not well. I haven't eaten since.
My mum and dad's flat. If you want, you could still email us if you've got time, Shell. If you can multitask, I can read them out. If that's okay, if you want to. So I am going to start with one story. Now, it's not a it's not a ghost story, but it is a very unusual. It is an unusual story.
Is it Skinwalkers?
No.
Is it like X-Files, isn't it?
So, I have had this message, mate, and I'm not going to say who it's from, but I am going to read it out. Me and my husband and I lived in Spain. Yes. Me and my then husband and I lived in Spain. We worked there too. We had no landline phone, and back then we didn't have mobile phones either. One day we get called into the office. They had received a telegram addressed to Mr. Y. Lacey. Nobody at that company had that name, but because my initials is Y and his surname was Lacey, they assumed the telegram must be for us. It said, phone home urgent, dad is in hospital with a stroke. My husband phoned his family, his dad was fine and nobody knew of the telegram. I then phoned my family and nobody knew anything about the telegram and my dad was fine. 2 weeks later, we returned home. We drove back, so had no means of being contacted by anyone. When we got home, within minutes, the phone rang to say that my husband's dad had been rushed into hospital with a stroke. So that's more of a weird one.
I hadn't eaten Anne-Marie.
It was sort of like it happened like 2 weeks prior to it actually happening, which I find very, very strange, that one. That's...
I hadn't eaten Anne-Marie because I did 2 challenges. I did twice. I tried to eat 3 cream crackers in a minute and I failed both times. And then I ate 19 Jaffa cakes in 3 minutes. So I don't feel well.
Chipooter's going off tonight as well. Wow. I have a ghost story. I was holding a piece of cake and it disappeared in front of my eyes. That's a good one. But yeah, I like these weird and wonderful stories, me. Because they are true. But to get a telegram like that, like a month prior before it happens, and then you get home and like 2 minutes after you've walked it, it's like I don't know, but it's just a very strange thing to happen. Are you reading your one? This one's quite a longish one.
No, it's not. It's the other one. This is a book about Sheffield, because we're from in Sheffield. So these ones, obviously, they're in UK, but they're in Sheffield.
Yeah.
This one is about a herbal store. About the middle of the 18th century, the trustees of the Norfolk Estates began the development for building purposes of the agricultural land then known as Allsop Fields. Number 117 Norfolk Street at the corner with Surrey Street dates from about 1765. Its first recorded occupants being Messrs. Faulkner and Magnell. variously described as merchants or factors in 1781. Hibbert Brothers, fine art dealers, were founded by William Hibbert in 1834 in Fargate and moved to 117 Norfolk Street in 1842. They owned the premises until the Second World War, when the council took it over. Hibbert's rented it ever since, but on March 28, 1998, Hibbert's closed down. The shop remained empty until February 2000, when it reopened as a Wicker herbal store with a vegetarian cafe upstairs. In the cellar, there were for many years mortuary slabs from the nearby old medical school. Could spirits accompanying them be the reason why, in the left-hand corner of the shop, facing the door, after a sudden noise, items on display would drop down?
Got shivers then, didn't you?
Me? No.
You went like that. Spooky. Right. She nearly died in an elevator.
Not loving an elevator.
I heard this when I was in Korea. One day, a girl was walking home late night after work or something. It was dark and around midnight. She lived in an apartment where they had elevators. She got into the elevator, and when the door was about to close, a strange man with a very red hoodie entered the elevator. He apologized for scaring her and asked which floor she was heading to. Without making eye contact, she told him out of fear, and the man casually pressed the button and the one below. As they were on their way, he asked her for her cell phone if he could use it, but she declined out of suspiciousness and isolated herself in the corner. After a second of silence, the elevator arrived to the floor below the one the girl was heading to, and the door opened. The guy slowly walked out of the door and turned around, faced towards the elevator and the girl, and just started staring at her without any movement. Slowly, the door started to close, and from the gap, she could see him turning around, heading for upstairs, pulling a knife out of his pocket. And that's it. Right. So, was she going to die when he got up? Were you going to attack her when they got up onto the next floor? Evening, everybody joining. Sorry if we're not saying hello, but it's ghost storytelling.
This is about an old nightclub in Sheffield. Used to be Roxy's nightclub, formerly Top Rank.
And now
it's O2 Academy.
It's O2 Academy, yeah.
The well-known nightclub is the setting for several spooky incidents. The mechanical lights which spin round were known to come on by themselves. In the balcony upstairs, ashtrays flew around. Internal phones rang when no one else was on the line. Bar number 1 was Barry Noble's bar. When he died, his youngest son took over. 2 American lads used to work there and stood on the same spot as Barry. The night lad, Simon, would pat the girls on their behinds.
Sounds about right for Roxy's.
One night, Joyce felt someone pat her, but Simon was not there. The bar doors flapped, opening and shutting. The staff felt that it was Barry, objecting to anyone else standing in his place. In 1999, the building was leased to St. Thomas's Church and is due to be replaced by 100. But yeah. It's not now.
No, it's not. It's actually O2 Academy. But that used to be one of our. They used to do rock night on a Monday in Roxy's. First of every month, I think it were, weren't it? And I'll tell you something. Even then, you had that creepy feeling to it. But yeah, it's. I wouldn't mind trying to get in there, actually. But there's another cinema in town, and I don't know the name of it, but I'm not sure that's open anymore, and I'm not sure what the building is, but that is a really interesting building to find. We've only just started, Leah, so you've not missed much, my lovely. After evening, Leah. Evening, Karen. Hope everybody's well. Maverick, hello. I saw you joined us a minute ago. Not sure if you're still in chat. So this story... Something was wearing her skin. Daddy, I had a bad dream. You blink your eyes and pull up on your elbows. Your clock glows red in the darkness. It's 3:23. Do you want to climb in bed and tell me about it? No, Daddy. The oddness of this situation wakes you up more fully. You can barely make out your daughter's pale form in the darkness of your room. Why not, sweetie? Because in my dream, when I told you about the dream, the thing wearing mommy's skin sat up. For a moment, you feel paralyzed. You can't take your eyes off your daughter. The covers behind you begin to shift. And then it ends. And that's it. That's it. So in other words, she had a dream that her mom was wearing a skin, and then in a dream she won't get into bed. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, these are really short stories.
We've not read them beforehand.
No, we haven't. If they're rubbish, we've not read them beforehand.
Right, this is about, according to this, it's probably got note to it. It says Hathersley's churchyard and Little John's grave.
Ah, yeah, we're going there, aren't we?
According to one version of the old legend, Little John was a nail maker's apprentice who was a follower of Simon de la Montfort. When the rebels were defeated by the Earl of Leicester in 1265, he and many others of the rebel army took to the forest. He is said to have met Robin Hood at Clifton upon Calder. After he buried Robin at Kirklees, he returned to his family home at Hathersley to end his days. The one-room cottage, according to legend, still owned by the Little family in the 19th century, stood within 100 yards of the grave. Unfortunately, it was pulled down in 1882 and the stone used to build a garden wall. In 1933, a stranger interested in the legend and its autonomy, a certain Captain James Shuttleworth, bribed the sexton of Hathersley, Philip Heaton, to open the grave, where he found human bones of a great size. He tipped the sexton handsomely and went off with the bones. Ill luck followed both of them. The sexton became twisted with rheumatism, and soon he was going blind. At night, he was haunted by nameless fears. It was with relief that he saw the stranger return with the bones a year later. The stranger seemed very eager to part with them, and the sexton was glad to rebury them. Immediately, their troubles ceased. John's 6-foot longbow, arrows, and suit of chainmail used to be kept in Hathersley Church, later placed in Cannon Hall near Barnsley. Their present whereabouts are unknown.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
My dead grandfather stopped by the house. 2 days after my grandfather died, the neighbourhood security guard knocked on our door on a Sunday morning. He told us an old man came to his house earlier, knocked on the door for half an hour, and finally left. When I asked him what he wanted, he told me he needed to say goodbye to someone he had never had the chance to meet. We were all stunned, had no idea who this old man was or who he was looking for. When the guard came in, he shouted, "That's the old man," pointing at a picture of my grandfather. My entire family froze for a minute. I'm not 100% sure if the guard was telling the truth, but I almost liked believing that my granddad wanted to say goodbye to my newborn sister before his resting place. I believe things like that, though. I believe that, when his loved ones do cross over, in that moment, either before they cross or just after they cross, I believe that they have got that energy, if they want to or need to, can project themselves. Because you've heard stories of people saying they've had messages, evening Tammy, evening Amy, evening Bimbag. But there's been messages where people have received a text message, or they've had a phone call. Normally it's phone call, I think. They've had a phone call, or they've said that they've seen if it's like kids, they've seen the granddad or the person they've lost walk through the door. It's really, really strange. I was on my own at the time and seeing Guardians in the Galaxy in 3D, wearing 3D glasses spooked me out. I'll message you about it. Cheers, Barry, my lovely. I didn't see whether place is still up and running, but hopefully it is, because you never know, we might get up that way.
Now, I don't know if this is a ghost story or what. Right. But this is about a cottage, Tall Bar Cottage. It's only a short one. The first turnpike road was built in 1781, and the old toll bar was at Rags Homestead. The new toll bar and cottages stood at the road junction by the corner of the pub yard from about 1816 to 18. The cottage changes hands quite frequently. Curious tales are told, such as the time when one owner got up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. He returned to his bedroom to find a little old lady about 4 feet tall and dressed in a Victorian nightgown sleeping in his bed. He turned off the lights and turned them on again, but she was still there.
Wow, I'd shit myself. If I were laid in bed.
No, he weren't laid in bed. He got up to go to the toilet.
Yeah, but got up to go to the toilet, whatever.
And then he came back and she were in bed.
Yeah, and turned lights off, and I turned lights off and then turned them back. I'd have been out the house or I'd have been picking me bat up.
I'd have thought it was my birthday.
Oh dear. My son at 3 saw my nan in his bedroom after she'd passed. He started waving and then pointing to the window and saying hi and bye and nan, emotionally, but makes me happy to think she came to him. That's what I'm saying, Penny. There's all these different things and different reports that this actually does happen. Things like that do happen. Or can in cinema. No, we'll have to look into them, Barry. We've got an old ABC cinema, but it's turned into Argos. I knew my granddad passed after battling cancer. I was away at the time, phoned my parents, and Mum only admitted it when I got home. Yeah, I've had that happen. I were on holiday, and it were 2 days before my birthday, and on my birthday it were absolutely chucking it down with rain, and it was so cloudy, and we were in Cornwall, and there were just like one bit of sky, and it was just like a circle, and it was stars. And I turned around to the partner I was with, which were Mike's dad. I turned around to him and I said, either somebody's passed or my dad's come to say wish me happy birthday. And then on my birthday, the same thing happened in the sky. And then when I got back, they told me that my auntie had passed away. But I knew that I knew somebody, didn't know it was her that had passed, but I knew that somebody had passed just because of how, what feelings I got from looking at sky. It was so weird. But they didn't want to tell me because they didn't want me to come back off holiday because we were halfway through holiday. Who was turning the doorknob? When my family hit hard times, we had to move into a small house where my uncle had recently shot and killed himself. He had done this because of his depression after his wife had overdosed on pills and died the summer before. It all happened so quickly that when we moved in there was still a bit of blood in one of the rooms. But on the third or fourth night of living there, my sister and I, who were sharing a room in the tiny house, were awake in our room playing video games at around 1-2 in the morning when someone knocked on our door. We didn't think anything of it and shouted for whoever was outside our door to come in. No answer. Another knock. We stopped and stared at the door, and another knock came. The doorknob does a full rotation and snaps back as if somebody turned it and let go very quickly. I get up and open the door, expecting to see one of my other sisters or my mother, the only other people in the house. I opened the door and stared into an empty hall. I walked down the hall and peeked into into the other bedrooms. My 2 younger sisters and my mother are both fast asleep. If you've ever experienced this or anything like that, hello HJ, could time slip be probably answer to ghost sightings? It could be. It could be. Yeah, well, we'll talk more on that one. That's a good topic to talk on, actually, well, that Shire.
It depends, because if you had a time slip,
handbag got lost in the maze.
Wouldn't you see?
Evening, Carol.
Like if you were sat in a house somewhere and you saw a ghost from 1800s, wouldn't everything look like from the 1800s?
Certain times, certain people do go into these times.
Did you go to that school?
No, but that school no longer exists. It's flattened. It got turned into a library. Yeah, but I didn't go to that school. No. But what we're saying about that, there is certain places, and I was talking to somebody the other night, and we were on about Liverpool. I can show you where that one used to be.
Yeah, but did you go to it?
No, we were against that school. We hated that school. And they actually go into like a time slip where they're walking down a road, and then for like a split second, everything changes, and you see old people wearing like old time clothes and things like that, and you're in your everyday clothes, but people notice you. So let's do the time warp again. Exactly. Evening, Lucy. But yeah, it's really weird on how some people do experience that like time lapse where you can go back, and there's like certain ley lines, I think, that it happens more on.
Has that gone now, that one?
Yeah.
Flat, no,
yeah. But yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird.
Right, there's one here about a school in Sheffield.
This one, I've been in it when it went to
Handsworth First School.
Yeah, when it got turned into a library afterwards. It's actually been knocked down now. It only got knocked down about 10 years ago. But that place is that was spooky.
Read that one about Barbara's first.
When we lived in Spain, I sat in a lounge late one night, and there was a very strange smell of incense. I said to the hubby, I feel my dad's here. and the smell got stronger. I said, my dad's telling me something. I got strong feelings to go down to the boiler room. Outside, under out. We get there, and the boiler was pouring out hot water. It was part flooded. Always trust your instincts. Wow. Do you know what, Barbara? I always 100% say you go with your gut feeling. If your gut feeling is telling you that there is something wrong,
oh, that's good bin bag.
Always go with that gut feeling, because there's nothing better than your own feeling when things like that are about to happen. Or I
mean, it could be. It totally could be. When you're seeing ghosts, it could be.
People have seen, but the street remains the same. I think that might be what I would.
Right. Let me go into this one anyway.
Yeah, Shire. I think that's the one I'm talking about.
Handsworth Council School was built in 1894, but the daily diary written up each day by headmasters dates back only to 1903. At first, it took children from the age of 5 up to 15, but from 1954, it accepted boys and girls from the age of 4 to 8 and was renamed Handsworth First School. During the Second World War, there were plans to use it as a hospital, but nothing came of it, although with other schools, it was closed for several months at the beginning of the war when its pupils were taught on home service. Huts were added when the school was at its largest, but these are now used for various community projects. From the summer of 1984, it was Handsworth Public Library after the old library building in Hall Road was declared unsafe and demolished. The library staff experienced strange going on in their new home. In the junior library upstairs, books fell from the shelves for no apparent reason, and the staff never felt alone there. It was as if someone was looking in from the corridor windows, even when no one was there. Was it the ghostly lady who used to be seen quite regularly downstairs in the adult library? On Monday, the 14th of October, 1985, a member of staff could scarily believe her eyes when the date stamp suddenly changed from the 14th to the 2nd, and 1985 to 1995 and back again within a few seconds. Was something destined to happen on the 2nd of October, 1995? Handsworth School closed in July 1992, and 40 pupils going to Athelston and Ballyfield.
Yeah,
and that's all it said.
Yeah, but that one, we used to go in that library. Adult library were downstairs, so you walk through doors and you were straight into adult library. To go to children's library, you had to go up like about 3 flights of stairs, and they were the creepiest. You've never seen kids run from walking in, especially if you were going in there on your own. You were like a Jack Whippet running up them stairs, because it really was. I heard about Hemworth High being haunted. You have to let us know where that is, little gem.
What was that?
Hemworth High. Hemsworth.
That's Gleedless. Hemsworth.
Oh, is it? Yeah, but that school now has been knocked down and it's been made into flats. There was an eerie message on our television. I have a really good one that is actually true. It happened to me. This could have been a dream, but I testified to this day that what I saw was a ghost. So here I am, the young boy who woke in the middle of the night. I am currently sharing a bunk bed with my brother. I am on the top bunk. I looked out into the living room and noticed everything is dark. However, there is a person in an evening gown dusting my fireplace mantle. The woman was slender, which threw me off guard because my mom is obese. I yelled out, "Mom," to the person dusting the counter, and the person turned around. It was not my mom, but some older woman. Suddenly she shrieked and her face becomes severely deformed. It was like that shit you see in the horror movies, like ridiculously scary, especially for a young kid. I blinked my eyes and she was gone. I somehow went back to bed, and the next morning I went to my living room and noticed that even though the TV was off, there was something written on the screen. It said, "Do not be afraid." The text slowly faded and no one else saw it. As a young boy, this was and still is extremely terrifying to me. Wow. Nice that he calls his mum obese. Evening, Terry. Hope you're well, my lovely. Can't name a street, Shell, but it's being investigated. Yeah, I think if you go on YouTube, there's things on YouTube about it, Shell. If you just put I forgot what we called it.
Well, that street in Liverpool.
Yeah. It's on It's on YouTube, but it's like going paranormal. Oh, I don't know what it is. I'll try and find link and I'll try and share it.
I don't know if this book were written.
I know. Writing on the TV is. I'm not even going to look at my TV in the morning.
I don't know if this book were written before that date.
Before what date?
Because it said if something could happen in that date in 1995, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't know if this book were written.
In 1995, that might be when flats started to be rebuilt. That might be when they built flats, because I know flats started being built in 90s. Right, are you playing hide and seek with Ali? I still have fresh memories of this. When I was very young, about 3 or 4, I remember having a friend named Ali. Ali lived with me and I would play hide and seek with her in the backyard. Ali was a year older than me. Ali loved my mom but wouldn't stay long enough to meet her. My mom didn't believe I had a friend named Ali. I kept telling her and my mom first got a very white face and told me to stop and said Ali isn't real. Well, one night Ali told me she had to leave. So she did. I never heard from her again. Fast forward to when I was 16, and Mom told me that before I was born, I had a sister named Ali, and she passed away due to complications. Idea what the problem was, something about her lungs, I think. My mom tells me that it was probably all a coincidence, since a divorce was going on during that time, and I wanted a friend. But I still remember everything about Ali, and I refuse to believe it was all pretend. I believe that's true. I do believe that can happen. That kids can, the play friends that children see could actually be siblings that have been lost prior to them being born. But yeah, that's sad, but it's a good story.
In December 1994, Mrs. Peacock wrote to the Star about her experiences in 2 houses in the Parsons Cross area. In 1947, her family moved into a brand new house on Colley Road. They lived there for 9 years, during which they saw things moving, heard noises, and loud, evil, mocking laughter. Even a 2-year-old brother saw a lady coming down banisters. In 1976, they moved to Wheater Road. This house became known for being haunted, so they had difficulty getting an exchange in 1991. Just some incidents are a rumbling, a shaking staircase, heavy footsteps in the hall, an entity complete with chains coming out of the back bedroom and across the landing. This was witnessed by visitors, not just family.
Wow. We'll talk about that one in a minute. My brother just discovered an ancient burial ground in Lincoln. He found it this week. They're still investigating. At least 17 found. Wow. You have to let her keep us updated on that one. But that one with chains and everything like that. Again, these are like... Which one was that one?
That one.
That one.
Parson Cross. But what gets me is, I don't know. It sounds... Do you know what? It might just be me, but the ghost at the end, it sounds so much like the one from...
I think some are similar, but when you look back to... to Christmas Carol. Carol. But I think some of the things are, though, when you do look back at some of these stories and years that these stories are from. I mean, Christmas Carol, that did come out before 70s, the original Christmas Carol, because it was in black and white, weren't it?
No, I mean stories.
Oh, stories.
For a long time.
But what I do like about these stories is this book's being done about places in Sheffield, and it's just so weird. The pictures are amazing. Yes, please, Penny.
1843. Christmas Carol written.
Yeah, Parsons Cross, best area of Sheffield. Do you know, no wrong with Parsons Cross in certain areas. The man that came and talks to us at night until we fell asleep. Terry, I was around 6 to 10. I used to, When I was around 6 to 10, I used to live with 3 children only in my bedroom. They would leave me notes on the floorboards, 2 girls and a boy. Years after leaving the house, my mum told me she saw them and children had died on the home during the war. Wow, Terry. See, things like that. Things like that to me, it's like there's so much history. I mean, in Sheffield, in Terry, I'm not sure where you're from, but you've got like, I mean, Sheffield, we had Sheffield Blitz, didn't we? And so many people got killed at that. And then if you go back before that, you've got all farming lands and all history before, and history just goes on and on and on and on. And I think, again, my personal belief is things can come through from the history, because I don't think sometimes people's energies do realise that they have crossed, especially when it's been a quick crossing. Evening, Matthew. The man that came and talks to us under night until we fell asleep. This is really short. I have 4 little cousins in who I never got to meet. I have 4 little cousins in who never got to meet my grandfather. He passed before they were born. One morning, they ran downstairs for breakfast, as they usually do. As my uncle was getting their food ready, one pointed to the fridge and said, "That's him." My uncle, not thinking much of it, said, "Who?" and looked over. They were pointing at the picture of my grandfather that they never got to meet. My cousin responded, "That man comes and talks to us at night until we fall asleep sometimes." Now, do you know that rings true to me? Because when I had Jordan and Ashley, Jordan was talking. By times, Jordan was very forward and talking. From about 1 year old, you could have a conversation with that kid. She was, honestly, I've never known anything. And just after I got pregnant with Ashley, in fact, no, it was before. I think I was pregnant with Ashley. Jordan, I used to wake up in the morning and I used to hear Jordan talking to herself. And then my mum used to have Jordan, and my mum would say, same, she's babbling. And then one morning, Jordan got up and I asked her who she was talking to. And we walked into the room and I'd got photos of my dad around. Now, at that age, I never told Jordan who that was. It was just a picture on my mantle thing. And Jordan said, "I'm talking to my granddad." Ashley did exactly the same. When she was born, she used to talk to my dad, and Michael never did. But out of the 3, Michael is the only one that I didn't take to my dad's grave when he was first born. Michael went at a couple of weeks old, whereas though Jordan, Ashley, I took them more or less straight away. Which I do believe that children can't. I do believe that spirit energies do come back and can talk to us kids. Used to work for a company that worked on London Underground. We were at Liverpool Street where they found the plague pits. A few years ago, had to put in a comp claim for loss of earnings. Wow. Underground is meant to be really haunted. Yes.
I was once asked by a ghost spirit for intimate, cheeky experience.
Really, Lucy? You'll have to tell us more on that one.
This one, I presume it's no longer what it says it is, but you've got to remember this was written in 2000. It was Hillsborough Park Cinema, and it says now Netto. But seeing as all Nettos have gone, I presume it's not a
another working one, won't it?
At the corner with Catchbar Lane, this cinema was designed by P.A. Hinchcliffe and opened on the 10th of February 1921. The proprietors were Sheffield Suburban Cinemas Limited. At balcony level, there was a lounge, which for some years was unused. Which for some years was used for whilst drives. I have no idea what that means. The balcony was a lounge, which for some years was used for. Anyway, attempts were made to establish it as a dancing venue. When Star Cinemas took over in 1960, Sunday opening became permanent until the cinema closed on the 20th of October 1967. It was subsequently a bingo hall and then a succession of supermarkets. The great balcony is still there above the supermarket ceiling, together with the remains of the screen. The cinema ghost, known as Fred, is said to have thrown himself from the balcony when his girlfriend left him.
Wow. And that balcony's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. It's above. They're like, obviously downstairs now is a supermarket, and then they put one of them false ceilings.
Be interesting
in,
to go in.
False ceiling, there's still
be
the balcony
to go in and ask them, ask one of the managers, and see whether if upstairs. I mean, obviously they might use it for storage, but see upstairs if it's still actually there, and if they've had any experiences. Please tell the little girl to get out of my room. I worked a night shift as a palliative care RN in a very big and very old nursing home. It's
now an Asda.
All right, Scots. We'll have to look at that one. It's important to note that this home and the religious organisation that ran it are currently part of the Royal Inquiry into the institution response of the abuse of children. The nurse that had worked there for 30 years plus used to delight in telling younger staff that when it was used as a children's home, they used to bury the children that died in the Rose Garden. The Rose Garden was apparently under a newer wing of the home. At least 4 times in my 2 years of working there, we would have elderlies close to death patients wake, totally lucid in the dead of the night, and ask us, please tell the little girl to get out of my room, or please get the little boy out of the corner. He is looking at me. Being in this huge, dark, old, creepy building that had a very awful history, and then that happening, I would never do my rounds alone when it happened. It was terrifying. It made my blood run cold, and I'd get a friend to work with me the rest of the night. I was not the only person this happened to either. It was a regular occurrence. Now, I'm not sure if anybody's worked in any nursing homes. I used to work in nursing homes, and very weird, strange things used to happen in the nursing homes themselves. That even at night time when we were doing rounds, we'd always do them in 2s, and if you did them in 1s, the shadows that you used to see, alarms going off in rooms where rooms were locked and nobody were in them, going up to the laundry room, because where this nursing home was that I worked in, it used to be a club, and there was a fire, and unfortunately 2 adults and 2 children died in the fire, but they were it was like the house on top. So when we used to go to the laundry room, there were laundry room, manager's office, and then kitchen thing, and that would have all been living quarters. And when you went there, you could hear little girls laughing and noises banging in. Honestly, it was so scary, but it was interesting at the same time.
Hey, Joe.
Evening, Joe. There was a lady on this morning who married a pirate ghost for a number of years. Then he abused her. So, well, Terry, I saw that myself.
He looks like Captain Jack Sparrow, apparently.
Yes. Not that I will not disclaim her beliefs, and if that's what she says that she saw and was married to. But yeah, a very strange one.
Right, this one is about Sheffield Arena. The arena was built for the World Student Games, which took place in July 1991. It was officially opened on 30th of May 1991 by Her Majesty the Queen. There is permanent seating on 3 sides, yielding a capacity of 12,000, with the eastern end taken up by a 50,000 square foot exhibition area. There is a permanent ice floor for ice shows and ice hockey, seating 8,000 spectators. There are 4 large team dressing rooms for 22 people, which are subdivisable, training areas, and also 4 luxury star dressing rooms. To accommodate the press, there are 2 30-seat press boxes, a television interview room, and 2 hospitality areas, each over 1,000 square foot. There is a first aid centre and a competitors' medical centre. The site was once covered by storage depots, a scrapyard, and part of a public park running alongside the Sheffield and Tinsley Canal. 3 abandoned mine shafts were found on the site, and 4,000 tons of coal was taken out to feed a nearby power station before the arena was built. In the 18th century, however, it was heathland. There are various claims for the site of the gibbet where Spence Broughton's body was displayed from 1791. Could it be where entrance C is now situated? As Amanda Howe, a security guard at the arena from April 1993, was on duty near the lift at entrance C at 9:30 p.m. on November the 27th, 1993, when she saw a dark figure of a man about 6 feet tall in the shadowy corner by the lift. The usual lift operator is about 5 feet tall, so it was not he. The man vanished even as she looked. It is always cold near that lift, and many people have remarked how eerie the arena is at night. Could the ghost have been Spence Broughton? Amanda could not tell if he wore old-fashioned clothes or not.
Wow. About 6 weeks before my friend ended his life, I started dreaming of him in a hospital bed on a life support machine. He wasn't ill. 6 weeks later, he committed suicide. Do you know that, BT? That's got to be...
Might do a few more, then we'll have a chat.
Yeah, that's got to be heartbreaking, that. But again, for me, I had that dream of my dad. And for me, I think these dreams like prepare us. So somewhere in that dream, BT, it was sort of preparing you for maybe what were to come, not necessarily for actually passing, but it could have been like some kind of just something to make his passing easy. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but yeah, I do believe that in his dreams that it can come. I'm not being funny here, but people say not a lot come out on our street, but I'm like, maybe some can't get out and others are working. It don't matter who turns up as long as you clap. Oh yeah, Joe, I'm just trying to read Lucy's comment. Now you've shot past Lucy's.
Yeah, well, just give over.
Okay.
It's going to take up half its screen.
It happened about 4 years ago. They came to me when I was at a low to one of our friends dying suddenly. Husband was snoring one night. I went downstairs to sleep on the sofa. I felt a warm presence behind me and against the sofa. Then a hand gently grasped my shoulder. I felt no harm and then was asked, excuse the language, do you want food? Me being startled said no. He replied, for the king of the pharaohs. And I said, I don't care who it is. Do one. I sat up and told my guides off. And then it'll finish somewhere. And then it told my guides off. And then she'll probably put rest in. Wow, Lucy. I'd definitely tell my guides off if they were playing silly buggers like that. When I was 11 or 12, was playing outside in a cul-de-sac with my friends and had someone call me. So I went running to my mum to ask who called me. And it was then she told me that Grandad had passed. Yeah. And again, I think it's so strange how these things happen. And you've got like, we either hear things, smell things, see things, whatever it is. But I do believe that I don't think there's anything that we could ever change. So like with my dream and same as BT's dream, nothing we could have done could have changed that situation because it was something that nobody knew. They didn't show no signs or nothing.
Evening, Amelia.
So to me, our dreams aren't there to try and stop it from happening. I think our dreams come to us because they're preparing us for something that we need help with the process of it. I believe that.
There was a bridge at Healy as far back as the Norman Conquest, but the early bridge stood higher upstream, just below the confluence of the Mears Brook and the Sheaf, almost opposite the bottom of Gleadless Road. It was referred to in the accounts of the capital burgesses in 1566. The ghost of a woman is said to walk through a wall of the bridge. She may be reenacting a tragedy which took place between the First and Second World Wars. At that time, before the building of the Norton-Lees estate in the latter 30s, the water level at Healy Bridge was much deeper than now, when the rainwater runs away into street drains rather than down the hill and into the river. The woman, in a state of mental distress, murdered her 2 children and was sent to prison. When she was released, she jumped off Healy Bridge and drowned.
Wow. Do you know, it's so thingy. She told the guides off. and why they'd let the spirit get into me. Exactly, because guides are there to stop.
I'll leave that for now then.
My Uncle Harry died first. Okay, and I used to go over to see my Uncle Bob. They were brothers and lived together in the family home. I would go over and make sure he was okay and had a hot meal, etc. I had a dream that my Uncle Harry was standing by a door of light. Thought no more about it. Cut a long one short. 3 weeks later, my Uncle Harry died. Dying, my Uncle Bob died. Oh, wow, Joanne. Do you know, it's such it is comfort. I think I do find comfort in things. My Uncle Harry was waiting for him. Yeah. But I do find things so comforting, and everything else with out spirit world actually works. Do you know, because it's like,
that's okay, Sandy.
No worries, my lovely.
I hope they're all well.
Hope everybody's okay. But yeah, it's to me, I find comfort in it. In it.
Got to be in it to win it.
I find comfort in certain things, but then again, I always look for positives. But my belief, what I believe, may not be your belief, which is absolutely fine. But all I would say is always take a positive from a negative, because it's there so we can either learn and grow from it. So if somebody says something negative, always look for the positive in that situation, or especially if you've had spirit communication come through and people say things like, oh, it's nasty, it's demon, and it's all this. It's not. It's not as thingy as that, but always make sure that you always look for positive in any message that comes through, because they are positive. Very scary. I've dreamed many times that my dad died. Then I found out he had dementia stage 3. So how do I interpret this? Sherry, for me again, I think that dream it doesn't mean your dad's going to die at all. I think for me, that dream's just probably preparing you, because you know yourself that when people have got dementia, my granddad had dementia, and we lost my granddad. The person he was died a long time before he died, if that makes sense to you, because he couldn't remember who we are. Now, I do believe that the brain, they actually know who we are, but the brain can't register us, which then they start calling us different names. So maybe that your dream...
It says here, death dreams usually mean a change of some sort, as death signifies the end or rebirth of something. Dreaming of someone dying means that this change or rebirth will happen soon if it has not already started. So you could be looking at a new career, find a new or setting a new career. It could be a lot of things, but it might have been because of a health issue.
But for me, because she said it were about a dad, and then they found out a dad had dementia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it might be about a change, so a change in his health.
That could be the change in his health rather than his actual death. But for me, dementia, for me, we actually lose as loved ones. But one thing with dementia is we do get to say his goodbyes before they actually pass. You know, it's a very difficult situation, but that's how I'd look at it. But look for the positive.
My dad was given a big glass boat in a bottle after that arrived. The strangest things.
Such on kids, pots moving forward, doing.
We do it at Clifton Park Museum.
Yeah.
It all stopped. We tried to get into Clifton Park Museum.
They won't allow anybody in. No. Not big enough. But yes, no. But again, I enjoy watching. What do you call him? Ghost Collector. Is it Haunted Collector? I don't know if anybody's ever watched him, but I like watching him because he goes into these properties, and he doesn't believe that any house is haunted or any house is it's an object. He believes it's the objects that are carrying stuff.
Right, Amelia, this is my intern. I ain't no dream specialist. I had a dream where an angry man shouted at me and forced me to watch my grandma dying. Absolutely freak. What does this mean? To me, that would mean that you're angry about your nana dying because obviously she's left you. So you're not angry at her, but you're angry at the situation.
Yeah.
And that's what it meant to me.
That's how I'd read that one. When my sister was a baby, my mum fell asleep in bed with the lit cigarette. Something shook her awake. The cigarette was smouldering away on her bed. My sister's cot was next to the bed. Yeah. And again, it's like something woke your mom, you know, or something woke your mom at that point where before an accident happens. I do believe that they do come and warn us before accident happens. But sometimes that warning may be ignored. And this is why we always said just be very open to signs and things around you, because they do mean things. But yeah, I always dream someone is chasing me and attacking me. So again, for chasing and attacking, I mean, we have got some dreamers in chat that do study dreams. I know Gemma does. But it got me some San Pellegrino.
Sat here drinking Coke and I thought, oh, I got you that.
Pen always dreams of someone chasing her and attacking her. To me, that's something that she's scared that there might be something happening around you that, again, you're not 100% sure, and you could be like, it's just your way of your dream interpreting it.
I can't remember.
John will have a look. Oh my God, that is the best type. What have I missed? Smelly cat, bless you, and well done. I think I've missed, oh my God, my favourite drink. I love this. Blood orange flavour. You're going to have to open it because I'll pop my nails off.
Right. If you're dreaming that you are being chased, it generally means that you are avoiding an issue or person. Yeah. Your subconscious is telling you that you need to confront the issue or person in order to get on with your life.
So
one of the most important factors in a dream where you are being chased is who is chasing you. So there you are.
I used to dream of flying and people were trying to grab my feet. So again, looking at that one, to me, it's a fear because somebody's trying to make you fearful. So there's something at that point in your life. You could have been trying to get away from a difficult situation, and that were how your dream were interpreting it that way, Joe. Honestly, it's so interesting. The day before I had a nosebleed, the tomato sauce lid came off my hands. Is that a sign or just life? That's just life, my lovely. That
I would presume.
Amelia. I know it's hard, and I know how much you miss your nanan, your grandma. Sorry, and I know that your grandma comes to you. Amelia has got some amazing footage.
By angel guardian.
Hang on, keep that one up. Amelia's got some amazing footage of her. Amelia communicates with the grandma quite a lot. Now, I don't know if everybody's aware, and Amelia is very, very open and talks a lot about it. Amelia is autistic. Now, the communication that Amelia has with a grandma's spirit and possibly some other energies is absolutely phenomenal. I have never seen anybody use a pendulum in communication with somebody and have it move like it moved for Amelia. Honest to God, she weren't even looking. The pendulum were like here behind her, and she's just like looking at screen and talking to us. And the answers and how it moved and everything, it was moving one way, and then all of a sudden it just stopped mid-turn and started going a different direction. A pendulum can't just stop mid-turn without you jerking your hand or something. But Amelia she's caught some fantastic orbs. She's caught some, I think, I'm not sure about EVPs, but no, Spirit Box communicate. She honestly, she really is.
And K2 meter.
Yeah, K2 meter. Wow. And I know she does test it because she's videoing. She does test a K2 meter on like distance away and where it don't bleep and where it doesn't. But the responses and how it responds, even when she's telling it to go into the red, to what if grandma, if it's you, go into red, and it's straight into red, and then she uses the colours, and it really is. Amelia is really good to watch.
What does it mean by like a guardian angel? It's just a spirit or somebody that watches over you and protects you.
I believe that my angels are my loved ones that have passed, that are family, that have passed before I were born. I believe that my spirit guide would also be a family member. I'm not saying now my spirit animal is a
Sloth.
It's not a sloth. It's what are them things that Phoenix. It's a phoenix and a dragon. That's what my animal spirit come to me as, is a phoenix and a dragon. Changes between the two. And again, I believe that they're the ones where the ancient side comes into things. But for me, I believe my spirit guides are family members that have passed.
I was at work and thought I saw the gaffer locking up at the end of the shift. But when I walked into the locker room, he was putting his items away. I saw someone, but after checking round, found no one.
So you actually had an experience then? I'd put that down, Shia, that were an unexplained experience, that you actually saw. You actually saw something either playing out a role. What do you call? I forget names for it. I think I'm getting dementia.
Residual.
Yeah, you either saw something that maybe were a residual energy, or you actually saw.
If it's an old building and old works, it might have been an old.
Yeah, or you actually did witness and see something. And I do believe that. I am an identical twin, and dreamt sister was pregnant. She said, "Come on, then. What did I have?" I said, "I don't know." Before she, I woke before she popped. 4 weeks, told me she was preg, and she didn't find out what she was having. Do you know what? Twins have got a sixth sense between them. They've got a connection. I believe that certain sisters have got a connection. It's like sometimes you've got that connection with a best friend, or even could be anybody, but twins definitely have a special sort of connection, and I think that's because of that connection that you've got in the womb. But this kind of connection can be built up, but it's normally built up with people over time, like school friends that you've grown up with, or other family relations that you've grown up to. So yeah, I'd like to say twins are born connected. I think they are, Smelly Cat. I think all twins are born connected. And I know not every twin will say that they can feel the other, but majority of twins, when you look at the research that's been done, they can be living other side of world from each other, and they still know what's going on. Or they'll go at shopping, they'll buy the same clothes, but they're different, shopping at different times. There's definitely some sort of connection. I mean, Nana had that connection with her friend. I mean, Nellie passed away a long time ago, but my Nana and Nellie were inseparable from kids, and they did everything together. And when they used to go shopping,
that's linked to Amelia's channel.
Yeah,
somebody were asking.
When my Nana used to go shopping, she'd go shopping with my pop, and Nellie would go shopping with her husband, or Nellie would just go shopping because she lost her husband quite young, and they'd come back, and my Nana would buy leopard print top, and Nellie had bought leopard print trousers and white top. I mean, and it'd be top and white bottom. Do you know what I mean? They got the exact same, but the opposite way. It was so uncanny. But I always said they were psychically connected. I do with my sister, but we're not twins. Exactly, Rachel. I don't believe it's got to be twins. I do think that there is that connection there with close people. I really do. Our soulmate's a real thing. Do you know, I want to say yes, because I do believe that not everyone's going to meet the soulmate, though. I don't believe everyone does meet the soulmate.
Why look at me when you said that?
Shut up, numpty. I don't believe everybody meets the soulmate, because I think sometimes you have to get out of certain situations that you're in. For one reason or other, you might instead of when you should leave, you might decide to stay for whatever reason, and them soulmates will miss. But I do believe there is a soulmate out, and if we don't meet them in this lifetime, we will meet them in the next lifetime.
Like Claire says, it doesn't have to be a romantic thing.
No, it doesn't. A soulmate doesn't. A soulmate can be anybody. A soulmate could be a friend. It could be a teacher. It could be anybody that you connect with, isn't it? So, but yeah, I do believe that there is soulmates. But soulmates for romantic times, I don't believe everybody will meet a soulmate. No, even though there is that person out there. But I think that because of different choices we make in life, we don't actually meet a soulmate. But yeah, but I do agree with Claire. Sorry, Joe. I think so. But I have two. My granddad was my soulmate. My best friend Kim is also my soulmate, both on romantic sense. Yes, Claire. And Joe's put exactly the same. A soulmate can be anybody when you need them to help you through something. When we did every trick in the book, trick teachers, boyfriends, the lot, we asked a set of boyfriends to swap as we preferred each other, and they wouldn't, so bin them both. Oh, by the way, most respected paranormal team, ETA Paranormal. Oh, thank you so much, Cosmo.
Yeah,
I'm going for Cosmo because that's a long word. Oh, bless. Thank you so much. There is quite a few teams out there that are like us, and just say it as it is and be honest. But yeah, much respect to you, my lovely, and thank you. My soulmate and twin flame isn't my partner, as I am single. Isn't my partner, as I am single. But Cara, do you know, I always said, you know, my mom, I'd like to wish that my mom, my dad was my mom's soulmate. And it doesn't matter whoever my mom is with, my dad will always be my mom's soulmate. I do believe that in my eyes. That's what I want to believe. But who knows? Who knows? But that's how I'd like to. That's what I like to believe. That because sometimes we can meet as soulmates and we can actually lose as soulmates as well. But I think a soulmate is somebody that you can just connect with. Into, do you know, as long as you love somebody and you love them that much, that to me, that's a soulmate. What about this then? What about if your family, who you have now, are always your family, but say your mom is your mom in this lifetime, but the next day could be your daughter? Me and John were on about this, and again, I like that theory. I like to think that if I had a choice, I would pick my mom and dad exactly the same. I would even pick my children exactly the same. I wouldn't change. I would, if I could, that's what I would go back to. Would I have the children to the same dad? Probably not. But I would wish that I had the same energies, the same energies of the children when I have my next children, if that makes sense. Yeah,
like that video we watched. I can't remember his name now. I think I don't know if you were a tarot reader or a medium, when he was saying that basically your body's just like a vessel. It's just like a car. Somebody gets in it to drive a car, like a spirit or a soul gets in your body to drive it. So this is only a vessel. Do you know what I mean? So the souls could always be the same souls in like birth and such.
Yeah. But that's how my brain works anyway. Joe Mike, that is what I've been told in the spiritualist church. Again, different spiritualist churches think different ways, don't they? We've been to, I keep saying a lot, and I keep saying my belief a lot. There we go again. I've got to try and get out of that. Sometimes you meet a stranger and instantly you like or dislike them. It's because in a previous life you loved them or had problems with them. Do you know, Bewitched? That's a really interesting theory. Because isn't it strange, are some people's energies that we connect with, there is an instant dislike, or there is an instant you know this person better than what you should when you don't even know them. So that's quite an interesting theory, that. Again. And yeah, like that loved one. You could see somebody over a crowded room or walk into a tattooist and know that there's an instant connection.
No, because nobody will get your body, will they? Because
your
body dies, but your soul lives on.
The energy lives on. But you know, you might be blessed with boobs every time if you're a woman.
I have.
Don't be blessed with a move, but don't be like
I think I were
man boobs if you come back as a man.
I were in a previous life, I were a woman because I've still got boobs.
Do you think bad people come into your life and you can never change them? Angela, I do believe bad people come into his lives, and I do believe that we can't change it.
They can only change themselves.
Yeah, they can only change themselves.
Hey, Cheryl.
But evening, Cheryl. But for me, when people come into his lives, they're there for us to learn a lesson. And sometimes them lessons that we have to learn are heartbreaking, can be abusive in some cases. And I'm not saying that's a lesson that you deserve to learn. It's not. But by what we go through on a personal level makes us the people that we are. It makes us the stronger people. So for that,
I'm a monk in this life. In my previous.
So for me, I do believe that good and bad people will always cross us paths. Certain ones will stop, certain ones will come in and do what they're there to do, and we learn that lesson, and then they move, and then they go. So Lindsay, you're all an inspirational. Oh, Amelia, we love you too, my lovely. Yes, Lindsay, I hear someone say hello and can think I love you, or Eclipse think you wanker. Exactly. And I do think that could be because our energies have connected. I do believe that our energies. What?
So that's this video not getting monetized.
Why?
Word.
That didn't stop it.
All right.
Yeah, it's sort of like for me, I've lost what should put now because of you taking my eyes off screen. But yeah, I do believe that our energies do come into contact with energies that we instantly don't like. And maybe that is because it's from as past lives that we've actually come into contact with these people before.
No, we haven't done past
not
life
yet,
regression.
Lucy, not yet.
It's one thing we'd like to do.
We have spoke to John and Joe about past life regression.
Yeah.
And
no,
John's done it.
John's done past life
Joe. There's a gentleman that they go to. So we are looking into doing something like that, but nothing's set in stone just yet. Bewitched, you have no idea how often I do that.
If anybody knows anybody that does past life regressions, let us know and we'll look into it.
I like what I read years ago, Doris Stokes' books. I love Doris Stokes' book. That your body is just like an overcoat for your soul. When the body dies, your soul continues in the afterlife. Yeah. Do you know Doris Stokes? I could read Doris Stokes books all day. I would love to know who I was in a previous life. Do you know what, Shell? Find somebody that's got
no, I'm only kidding, Bewitched.
That's got a high no, he's lying, it's just so I don't swear. Find somebody that's got a really good reputation, and go to them. And again, it's not about the price. The cost doesn't have to be an expensive cost. Or have a look, because I think if you can get a group of friends to do it with you, it's cheaper. They'll do like a group session maybe. I'm not sure. Hi Tracy, my lovely. I always wondered why some horrible people seem to stay through life with no problems, and other good people suffer so much grief and pain and illness, and it's unfair.
Do you know, sometimes I think that, but then I think we only see what they want us to see.
Yeah.
So although we don't like these people, and it might appear to us that they're sailing
that
through
they get
lives,
everything. They're not.
They might not. We don't know. I'd like to think that karma would catch him at some point.
Well, I think karma does catch him. I think these people that seem to have got everything, or nothing ever bad happens to them and things like that. I do believe that these people have the shittiest lives ever. Do you know? It may be the relationships, they're in out relationships, they don't settle. It may be that they've got bad karma following them wherever they go. No matter what they do, they'll always have bad karma, because again, negative to me attracts negative. And if that's their way, then there's nothing about them that's positive. But you get that, and again, when you meet up with these people, you can know that from feeling their energy. But totally agree with you, BT. But just look at the bigger picture and think what you see of somebody, whether it's a next door neighbour, whether it's somebody you're at work with, and they're putting on this all high and mighty grace. That's what they're portraying to you. But as soon as they leave and they go home, it's completely different. And it's not as nicey as they make out for it to be. Even richest people in the world, some of them aren't happy, and it's just a big front that they put out on outside. Do people with anxiety and emotional problems in their lives experience higher spikes of paranormal activity? Anxiety and emotional problems. The problem with anxiety and things like that is I suffer with anxiety, and for me, it's not a positive experience when I start with the panic attack and the anxiety attacks. I don't know about you, but for me, it's not a positive experience I get from that. And I'm not going to say I'm drawing in negative energy, but something somewhere will have triggered that emotion to come in. And sometimes, other night I had one, didn't I? And I had to come downstairs, and John says, what triggered it? And I don't know what triggered it. I can't pinpoint what triggered it, but something that day must have triggered something in me for my for panic attack and anxiety
they do say
attack.
like poltergeist activity is attached to people, don't
they?
They
do, yeah. That have got that kind of energy, yeah.
Energy, emotions, mental health. Stuff like that. So yeah, probably it could affect the amount of. Yeah,
it can. I think it can, but but that's why when I do start having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, as daft as it might seem,
state of mind must have a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
because like Native American Indians, they used to smoke all sorts to see spirit, to get into a certain state of mind.
Yeah.
So, I presume in some way it will.
Yeah. What calms me down, I think, when I have a panic attack or anxiety attack, I tend, if it's that bad, John has to be with me because I'm like shaking and I can't get calm. But then what we do is we put a meditation on, and it's either sometimes just a music-y, like Indian-y type, old type music, relaxing music. When I mean Indian time, I meant like what you were just on about then, when they use Native American music. Or I'll put a meditation on that is a guided one. So I'm listening to their voice, and it starts lowering the anxiety level, and it's not going to be something that would work for everybody in chat. It's not going to be something that works to somebody that I'm talking about. But for me personally, I have tried all sorts of different things, and meditation does help.
Distraction can be a good thing. Try to focus on something else. If you're having a panic attack, I was once told, if you're feeling anxious, obviously if you're having a full-blown panic attack, it's difficult to do. If you can feel a panic attack coming on, or you can feel anxiety coming on, try counting backwards from 1,000, taking 3 off at a time. And it starts your brain focusing on something else. You might find something else that works for you rather than that actual. That's what I was told to do.
Yeah.
And it does work. It distracts your brain.
It does turn your brain. My problem is I'm not good at maths, and counting down in 3s from 1,000 just. So I make my own numbers up when I've done that. But that's why that one don't work for me that way, because I'm not mathematically inclined, not like John. But at the music and the meditations is something that really does help.
Try to think obviously not at the time. You have to have it in place before. Try and think of something you can distract your mind with, that you can focus on something else.
Shire, I suffer. Meditation as you help. Believe it or not, my cat knows when I'm having one. And exactly, Tracy, animals around us can pick it up. Fifi can pick it up sometimes when she's that way. Shire, I suffer with anxiety and depression and don't experience spikes.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think anxiety depression is the main, but I think...
No, it's not.
It all depends. I think there's other factors involved in it. State of mind's only one thing.
Whenever I'm with someone having an attack, I ask them what colour their front door is. It's always worked. So asking them the colour then, is that like what will switch your mind?
No. If she's with someone that's having a panic attack, not her.
Oh, yeah. If you're with somebody, you ask them
that
a question.
Think about. They have to think.
That's a good way, actually, Claire. That is actually quite a good thing. So if you if you're with your partners or something, ask them to ask if you are that way. Ask them to ask the question because that might get you talking about.
You remember answer, and it's just to be a question that you have to think about.
I think for me, do you know what would do me is talking about the past. It'd be talking about my dad because I think that would be a calming. Talking about when I was little and memories I've got, I think that would maybe bring my anxiety level.
Yeah, but it'd have to be a specific thing. So I'd have to say, can you remember what you did on your 8th birthday or whatever you do? Not your 6th birthday, whatever. You know what I mean? I know.
I think everyone do you know, Joe? I think everybody, even people that haven't suffered with it, will start suffering because this lockdown, this claustrophobic feeling that we've all got, is very, very difficult. Makes them think of something and distracts them. Yep, your own energy comes back to you. It goes round in circles. I worked on my diet. I didn't have enough omega oils in my system. Wow. If I'm having one, it doesn't work. Yeah, Lindsay, your hair looks good tonight. Your mum wanted me to say that. I've already put makeup on and done hair because I know she'll have watched last night's Evening Reva. So I did do hair. I have straightened my hair because I will get text messages and phone calls why I haven't put makeup on and why I haven't done my hair. So thank you very much, Laura. My mum will muchly appreciate that comment. Because I know she's watching. Hope you're okay, Reva.
She's a worker.
I love your pictures. Oh, bless. Thank you. Hey, sis. So, sister's in. And she'll pop up in chat in a minute because I bet we've missed her when she's been further up. Hey, sis Tracy. I think, it's Reva. I found myself just bursting into song or humming.
No, it's not Reva.
Oh, I found myself bursting in a song or humming. My sister instantly asked me, what's on your mind? What are you worrying about? Yes. Yeah, I think, do you know, sometimes that's a good sign. I think she might have changed her name. That's a good thing to do, Penny, because if people around you know that when you do a certain thing that you need somebody to maybe talk to you, or that's people that know you that well, that know that when you sing, when you burst it up, it's like they know you that well that that's the way to go with you because they'll know something's worrying
Rachel,
you.
it's music for
music, yeah.
I mean, you could, that's another thing.
It's bad going for a walk and reconnecting to nature. Do you know, Shell, walking in grass in bare feet is supposed to be really good for you.
Another thing with anxiety,
not always good to
your favourite song, sing your favourite song in your head because thinking of lyrics might distract you.
Yeah. But always find somebody to talk to.
I know I've seen you say Tracy. I know you've seen a sister, somebody else. It weren't Reva.
Spirit Sisters. And it's got to be the loudest and heaviest alternative music. Love John's hair too. Lucy loves your hair.
Well, lack of.
But yeah, I think there's all different ways we can all cope with anxiety. And again, with depression, depression's really, really a subject that isn't spoke about. It's been spoke about more, I think, again, with anxiety and panic attacks.
It took me ages to get this look, Tracy.
But I do.
Nails, though.
I know, I'll put him nails on for next time. Let's see how good he does with nails on. But it is about finding your own way. It really is, Joe. But, you know, you don't have to find that way on your own. And I think that that's why we need to start talking a little bit more. Trouble is, it's finding the right people you can trust to talk to, because when you talk to people, you need to trust that whatever you're saying to that person isn't going to be talked about anywhere else, because some people, unfortunately, pretend to be friends and they're not friends, or pretend to be close to you and they're not close. They're just digging for dirt on you or whatever to use it against you later down. And it's wrong.
I agree with that, what Gemma's put as well. With guided meditation, it's just finding the right voice.
It is Gemma.
Because I listen to some and the voices are really nice. So, and I know I'm from York. Well, we live in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
I'm not originally from Yorkshire, but we live in Yorkshire. And I will listen to one and they promote, and I couldn't concentrate because it's like Yorkshire accent. Hey up, love, right, lay this in down, close the eyes.
Yeah. As soon as we put it on, it will like get it off. Get it off. We can't do it. But yeah, some of theirs we can listen to because they're not same. Yeah, they're not same. I'm over 200 miles away from home, missing my kids and family. Still trying to keep it hard together. That's so happy to watch. Oh, bless you, my lovely. Do you know our messenger's always open? Please feel free to message us at any time, and we will speak to you. You can message me either privately on Facebook, or you can message us through ETA, and then I'll link you up to a private chat. So yeah, don't ever be on your own. And are you video calling your family and that, and trying to keep in touch with them that way? I've had loads of friends come to me and we talk through things together, and I know what's said is confidential, always has been and always will be. Exactly, Joe, exactly. But that's the kind of people that you need to find, and there is people out there that are really, that you can really do that with, and it's to me it's a special thing to find that, because we all need that. We all need somebody to talk to and to trust. Good impression of your Yorkshire folk. Yeah, that's why I don't like listening to it, Penny. Tracy Evans, thank you, hon. I'm just pleased we're all safe. Exactly, Angelina. Everybody is safe, and that's one blessing that we can count. But like I say, our inboxes are open all day to every one of you. You can message John. John's a very good listener, and it doesn't go any further that. Yeah, he has to be. And I'm a very good listener, but we're both very good listeners. And if you ever need us, you know where we are. I
mean, I'm not.
Thank you, Tracy.
Expert on mental health. Don't get me wrong. I've got no particular qualifications, but where at work I used to be the union rep in health and safety rep and mental health for one of my things that I dealt with a lot in that role. So.
Which is laughing at you.
Not in the Yorkshire accent.
No. What have you just said? You don't get a word in anyway. Oh dear. I've just shared the link to my friend Mary. No worries.
Lovely.
Mary sent. I talked to Mary. She messages me too, just to see how we're doing and how she's doing and that. Mary's lovely. Yes, my mum is a nurse, and a lot of friends work on the front line. I talk to them on video chat. That's brilliant.
I don't think Rotherham folk have a stronger accent than Sheffield. I think, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. Barnsley, for me, have got one of the strongest accents around this area. Barnsley. Yeah.
Bless your mom and all the friends, and send our love to everybody out there, Angelina, that your mom's working with, and other key workers alongside, if you know them, and what they're doing is just absolutely amazing.
I used to work in Corton,
but I can understand where your anxiety level.
I can't do any accents. Hear me.
Can you do a Geordie accent? And yes, just missed the gigs this year. I know, Rachel, missing gigs. I think a lot of people is. I know that lately with everything what's going on and the satellites, etc., all going up in the universe, I'm having to breathe, seriously, having to do breathing exercises.
I lived in Sheffield most of my adult life. I lived in Rotherham for a while. I lived I don't know if it's classed as Whiston or not.
Yeah,
Whiston at Rotherham. Yeah. Not Checkers, it were
Checkers is at Whiston.
Hind, where Hind is at Whiston. I used to live there. And I worked at Barnsley. And I tell you, when I worked at Corton Wood, them that were from local. I needed a translator to understand half of them.
Bewitched. I got more help of people who had experienced mental health problems. I told my psychiatrist as they hadn't experienced it and they didn't know what they were talking about. 100%, you know, Bewitched. 100% agree. The problem you've got with certain psychiatrists, and I have spoke to that many over the years. The last one I spoke to, I had 100% link with that gentleman that I was talking to. But most psychiatrists, when you go in, and it's same as your doctors, they class you as everybody else. I once had to fill a form. I phoned the doctors up and I explained to the doctors what I were feeling and everything else. And this was just before I met John. And the doctor said to me, fill a form in, come in and pick this form up. And on this form, there were all different things and different tick boxes, what you were. And I ticked all these boxes. And at the end of it, it says if you scored so many points, you were suffering with depression or you were suffering with whatever it were. So I said, I'm not handing the form back in for it to be assessed. I want an appointment and I'll bring the form in with me to talk to the psychiatrist, doctor lady in GPs. And when we went in and I was talking to this woman and she says to me, do you know, if I ain't have gone in, all she would have done is she would have put me on some medication and classed me as being depressed. At that time, it wasn't anything to do with depression. It was to do with the ADHD part of me. But because they don't see you and they see you on a form, on a piece of paper, they don't see your mood, they don't see you smiling, they don't see you happy, they don't see anything. And they do class you as the same. But again, with psychiatrists, just make sure that you get to see the right one. And if you're not comfy with that one, ask to see somebody else, because you've got to make a certain connection. For me, the last one, I admit it, he looked like he got a look of my dad. He was thin, he'd got like the chiseled chinny type thing that my dad had, and I could see, and that's why I connected with him. I live in Brighton, was born in Wakefield. Oh, we're going back up.
No,
Wakefield, came here for my stepmom's operation in Feb and now can't get home. Oh, bless. In the any way though that you could get home, I'm sure.
Well, Penny run about. She's saying about where she lives in Wickersley. My mum used to run the Hind about 25 years ago.
Yeah,
that's.
Angelina, can't you get in touch with somebody and see if you can go home? Because obviously you've been self-isolating. So if you got in car and drove back home, it's not like you'd be coming back up. You'd be going home to stay. Anybody that you could like speak to and just explain situation to and see if you'd be okay to drive back home. Because if you're driving back home to somewhere they've been in isolation, I can't see that being an issue. Because to be that far away from your family and friends at this time, that's got to be so difficult. I would try and have a word with somebody and see whether you'd be able to drive that distance home. Because it's in fact, message me afterwards and I'll have a chat with you afterwards. And then another time it would have been put out in the bin. What about Hull accent? 3 generations of family, and we still sound like Hoofies. It is a strong accent though. Oh my God, I can't tell you how relieved I was to find a psychiatrist that really cares, who specialises in what I have, and actually clicked. Exactly. It makes such a big difference. Wow, small world. Yes, but it's okay when you have a good psychiatrist for them not to leave you. Then you have to explain yourself over. That's what I'm saying, Joe. You've got to make sure that when it's like with Michael, we've had to go to CAMS every 6 months with Michael, don't we? And for every 6 months, for every time we go in, we see the same doctor or same person we talk to. Then on the 3rd time of going in, they tell us that they can't work with us anymore and they're leaving to do something and they're bringing somebody else in. We put a very, very highly complaint in, and now we are seeing the same person every time we go in. Even though they've changed departments, they're still coming in to see us because it is so unsettling because you're having to repeat yourself and go back to the beginning when you've already got that.
And you're explaining things, and they're looking through going, well,
and they haven't got a clue what they're reading. So yeah, I can't drive, but maybe I could get permission to get the train. Do you know, Angela, you could, my love. Like, I would definitely look into it, because you should be allowed to go back home. And I know it happened in lockdown, but like I say, you've been in isolation, so for you to get home, it should be allowed. And I'll keep my fingers crossed that you do manage to get back home. But definitely message me afterwards if you want, my lovely, and we can have a chat and see if I'll have a look, see if I can find some information out online and share it with you, so you know who to get in touch with. We'll be moving out of California. Things are going to have to change, but she told me she would still do phone sessions with me. That's good. That's good. Same with counsellors. Exactly. It is important. It really is. It really is. Yeah. Oh dear. Don't we cover some subjects, us lot, eh? Don't we? We start off with one thing, then we go to something else, then we go to something else, and then it's something else. But you know, I'm so glad that we do, because it's like just chatting with friends in your own living room, because your subjects change that dramatically
somebody else
anyway.
Put kettle on.
I've got my drink. You've got a drink. What you moaning for?
I might want a cup of tea, but nobody's offered to make me one.
You mash cup of tea. You make a better cup of tea than me. But hey dear, how long we've been up? 1 hour 35. Bleeding hell. We've rambled. We've rambled.
You have. I've got odd word in now and again.
Nay, laddie, nay.
That is last.
So has anybody got any questions or anything you want to ask, or any topics you want to talk about in chat this evening?
For a while, we're not.
It's easy. It's easy. It's comfortable. No awkward silences. It's fab. It is, my lovely. It is. You've also got me as your therapist,
Craig had the same with Cams.
Yeah, it's shocking, Cams. You really need to put your foot down with Cams. Did you say mash the tea? We did. Get mashing that cup of tea. Dry sense of humour matches mine. John's dry sense of humour. Go sex.
Woohoo!
Woo! We've got go sex. You want to talk about sex? I'm afraid you're on the wrong channel for sex talk.
And there's no couch auction either.
No.
Before anybody asks on Facebook.
No, unfortunately not, my lovely.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I've already moved the comment. But yes. Isn't it lovely? All these that might be a wrong thing to ask, actually, what topics you want to discuss. So I've just made my cup of tea. Do you know what I were watching? I was watching an American lady that has moved over to the UK. John, what's your favourite kind of tea? Milky tea.
No, I mean, what brand I presume they mean.
So it's the turn of social. Lucy, 100%
probably
agree. I've had that
PG or Tetley. I'm not right.
Yeah,
it's not like chamomile or anything like that. Or
yeah, when
teas.
When my daughter was younger, my middle daughter, I actually phoned social services to get her help, and again, it was shit. They did nothing to help her or anything. And then on a fourth overdose, I think she took, the hospital didn't want to release her, and 3 psychiatrists come in, 1 from CAMS and 2 from these 2 other places, and said to me that there was nothing wrong with her and that she was being discharged. The nurse coming up to me and the doctor on the ward and said she cannot be released. We need to keep her in. But because the psychiatrists have said that she's free to leave at that time, and in the year it was, they actually had to discharge her. And I just said to them psychiatrists, when I'm burying her, I'll be coming to her, I'll hunt you down. I says, because you'll be going in a grave next to her. And I walked out of her in hospital. It was shocking.
We'll go to Angela's question and then we'll go back to others. I do. There is a man who comes to me every night. He had a grey hair and a beard doesn't scare me. I told my stepmom, and she sees him. The flat I'm in was built on an old graveyard. What does he want? Try asking him. Use your phone as a recorder and try asking questions and see if
you could ask him, Angela. It could just be coming in visitation just to
child, an adult,
message it, just to see the property, just to let you know that it's still there. There could be 100 reasons why, but as long as you're not scared by him, then open lines of communication. If that's how you want to, but just make sure you're protected.
And it's Child and Adult Mental Health Service. That's it.
I'm surprised that you didn't know about Hump Day. I hadn't even got a clue, Laura, what Hump Day was about. Hump Day.
She thought it was something.
I thought it was. No, I was like, what's Hump Day? And then John had to explain what Hump Day means, and then I said it back. Oh, dear.
What about black cats? Just regular cat or something special?
Black cats to me are regular cats. People say that if you walk in front of a black cat, shit, I can't bend to pick that up here. I'll roll it your way.
Black cat crosses your path.
More of, but it's more of a superstition to do with black cats.
To do with witches, isn't it?
I think it dates back to the superstition. But to be honest, cats aren't a bad sign. Cats are actually a good sign. So, so I wouldn't even...
no, CAMS in panic. CAMS, it's CAMHS, and it's Child and Adult Mental Health Service.
Yeah. Hump Day is when Fifi humps John's leg. Yes, earlier on this afternoon. She's actually laid in my chair at the moment.
Asleep.
Fast asleep. She's got the face on. I was getting at dirty eyes earlier while John was telling his story. He's very calming, but hell no, I'm going to pretend I can't see him. And do you know what, Angelina? If that's how you feel, then do you know what? Good on you, my love.
But if you don't want him there, ask him to go away. Yeah. Just tell him you don't want him there.
Don't, just say, if he's scaring you, just say out loud, can you rather not show yourself to me? Don't say that he's scaring you, but just say, I'd rather you not show yourself to me. I know you're here to protect your property or whatever, but I'd prefer you not to show yourself to me. And then hopefully that he might stop coming to see you. Cats are protectors and guardians. They are. I have a black cat called Ronnie. He's a fat little toad. Love him. He's a fat little toad, no matter what colour they are. I'm well awake. I've got 2 on my knee now.
We used to have a cat, didn't we?
I've seen Rachel's cats.
We used to have a cat.
We did used to have a cat.
Michael, they used to attack Michael.
Michael was scared of the cat, and an old lady near him.
Every time cat, like Michael walking through or coming downstairs into the room,
yeah.
Cat would wait outside, and because Michael was scared, he'd be like looking, and Cat would like pounce out
on him.
So an old lady that had just lost her cat.
She just lost her cat, so we still see the cat. We still see our cat. She still comes and visits, but she's actually under the care of a new lady. And that was before we got Fifi. That weren't it? Because we said after cat we weren't going to have any pets. Because around Michael were around animals, but obviously as he got older, and with Fifi being small, his fear's gone. Dream meaning: I was laying on a table, candle burning at the bottom of my feet, gets hotter and hotter, and then I'm looking over myself from above. I had the same dream loads of times when I was younger.
The thing is, the dream
might be a spiritual kind of dreaming.
It might got nothing to do with the candle being at your feet. That might be nothing to do with it.
Did you have any problems with your legs or anything when you were younger?
It might just be the candle itself that's important.
Yeah.
To see a burning candle in your dream signifies that good luck and hope will be coming your way in a small, steady amount. You are in a comfortable stage in your life and may be seeking spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah.
Lit candles are also a symbolic of intellect, enlightenment, awareness, and the search for truth. So it could just be the candle that's
more significant.
Relevant.
But to me, with the warmth and that, if you were suffering with your legs, it could have been healing coming in from, it could be some type of healing coming in from spirit. So, yeah, it could be. That's what I'm saying with dreams. It's such a mixture of thoughts that goes behind it. You've got to look, you can't just look at it at what it is. You've got to like look at it and like Simon always says, look out of the box.
Yeah.
Look out of the box and look for a bigger picture. God, I tell you, there's something in the water as I'm peeing for Britain. Penny, I've got bubbles on me. He's a Bengal and black and white Lizzie and Ripley half Bengal. The beautiful Rachel. Beautiful Ronnie and Johnny.
Ours is half Rottweiler.
She likes to think she is. She likes to think she's a Rottweiler. Oh, she's sat up now.
Come on.
Don't you come and sit with us?
Come in. Come on.
She says, no, watch her because she'll pull cables. She'll
come on.
do something.
Come on then. Come on. Come and say hello.
I love Bengal cats.
Come and say hello to everybody.
And your subconscious thoughts, things you thought you had forgotten, and wow, when something pops up in your dream to remind you. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. I think as brains, how the brain works is such... Miss Little, yeah. How the brain works is such a weird way. Stop it! She's licking me leg.
You just broke my dream from this morning. What
dream? You just broke my dream. What dream? I always get dreams before one of my families die. I hate it. Oh, bless Angelina. But again, I mean, for me, when I've had dreams that way, I look at it more, I look for the positive, not the positive, there's no positive. I look for it as it's a way of helping me cope when it happens. They're preparing me. So on an emotional level, I'm sort of prepared. But again, if you don't want to dream these dreams, some of us can control your dreams. I'm one of these that if I go to bed and I want to dream about a certain thing, I can dream about that certain thing. If I want to ask energies around spirit world to guide me to something or anything like that, I can get it to come into my dreams. It's very weird. But again, do dream meditations to try and control your dreams so you're not always dreaming of that kind of dream, Angelina, because again, we have to train as brains in a way.
Loads of my dreams are broken by something what happens or said that next day. Do you think that premonition when it happens, someone breaks your dreams?
I don't know. Because to me, it's like a deja vu moment then, isn't it?
No, it's a premonition, isn't it? Deja vu is when you're in a situation, you feel like you've been in that situation before. Yeah,
but if somebody says something...
But you've dreamt it, then that's a premonition, not a deja vu.
All right, I always classed it as a deja vu when I've dreamed things and something happened. I never thought of it being a premonition. I don't think it'd break your dreams, but maybe that's part of something that you're learning, like a learning thing that you're going through. I'm not sure.
I got bitten by a black widow spider. I was with all my family. Next minute, I was next to a medium asking me, what do I want to say? I miss them.
Black widow spiders. Again, for me, because it's like a dream and a death. With tarot cards, death isn't death. Death means new beginnings. It means a chance to put everything behind you in your past and move forward. So to me, that kind of dream would be that you was leaving something behind to start a new... you were leaving something in your past behind to start something new. That's what I'd put that dream down to. Any dream, a death, that's what I would put it down to, that there's something that you've got to let go of in your past or something that you've got to move away from. And that's how the energies around you are connecting with you to tell you that this is what you need to do. I chat with my other half and say, we haven't seen a certain person for ages, then bingo, we see them, or they phone. That happens a lot. Yeah.
A lot of people used to say, no, not so much now with mobile phones, but when it were old house phones, you know, they used to set phone ring and they'd know it were
on phone. It was really weird. But yeah, I mean, a lot, I think quite a lot, you know, Bewitched, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Because I think everybody's done that at some point or another. You talk and then it's like, oh my God, they're over there. And it's like, yeah, But keep a note on it, on how many times it happens, or if what feeling you get, and just kind of like keep a little journal to yourself so you can see it. I made it better late than never.
That's okay,
hey,
Steve.
dear.
You know, it's actually quite early for you, isn't it, mate?
It took me a while, but I taught myself to wake up from a bad dream. Yes, Joe. I do believe that.
Just explained why underneath on that one.
Like I keep a light on, and if in my dream the light is off, I know I'm dreaming, and I tell myself to open my eyes. It takes a while, but I can now bring myself out of dreams. That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. Especially when you have bad dreams, you do need to sort of like, oh, evening, Stuart. I didn't see you pop in. Night, sweetie. Take care. I didn't see Stuart come in. I never said hello. I do apologise. Did I say hello? Oh, well, I apologise if I didn't. 9:20 a.m. currently. Oh, well, at least you've got up at a decent time this morning.
You've probably been up hours.
I know, what am I missing? I know I always have the weirdest dreams. Yes. It's a bit like if you go somewhere you've not been, you know where everywhere is, like you've been. I've done that when we've gone to people's houses.
Deja vu.
Yeah. I've done that when I've been to houses
before.
No, but we've gone to like somebody's house, and I'll know that tea's in a certain cupboard before we've got there. And it's weird.
They say most people do dream but don't remember it.
Yeah, but there is a small percentage of people that don't dream, and I can't remember what it were other night. But they were on about it. But apparently, Scotty, because I know you don't dream, it's not healthy to not dream. Because your mind's not exploring.
No, it's not to explore, it's to get rid of it. It's resting. When you're dreaming,
you're resting.
Your mind's resting, and if you're not dreaming, your mind's not resting.
But there's only a certain few percentage of people that don't dream, which means that you need to. So he says.
Take care, Shell.
Take care, Shell, my lovely. Yeah, it's. I forgot what I was saying, but yes, Scotty, you need to do some dream meditations. I told my mom 2 years before my nan died she would be in a home and covered in a pink blanket at 3 p.m. She lived with my mum for 15 years, and yes, she went into a care home. After a week, she fell at 94 years old and died in bed with a pink blanket over her. Wow. Wow, my lovely. So you had that dream pretty young then. That's just amazing. To have dreams like that, to have them. I mean, them kind of dreams. Again, I'd look at it as a positive. I'd probably look into because you're having them premonitions. Try looking into subjects on premonition and trying to get a bit more information that's going to help you, like with dream premonitions. Maybe have a look and see if there's somewhere out there that you can actually learn something, and you might be able to learn to control them somehow. Maybe that might be a way to go down. Tom Hardy, that was for those who didn't know. Oh dear. I've never had a nice dream. They've always been night terrors. Oh, bless.
But that could Amelia be down to again, a lot of things.
That again, yeah, Amelia, that could be down to quite other things coming in and playing parts. It could. Your brain's a very active brain, like mine is, but yours is maybe that little bit more overthinking things. And it might not be night terrors, it might just be how you're perceiving them.
You could put in place to try and stop nightmares. Establish a regular relaxing routine before bedtime. Consistent bedtime routine is important, so make sure you're relaxed and doing something.
So you could do like, I don't know,
whatever. Offer reassurances.
Back to school tomorrow, oh, bless.
Talk about the dreams. Rewrite the ending of the dream.
Yeah.
Provide comfort measures. Use a nightlight. Things like that.
Put stress in its place. A good use a nightlight, which has already been said. And provide comfort. So make sure that you're comfy. A fag and a drink sorted. Exactly, Penny. I never remember dreams, but the bad ones I do. Yeah. But again, because your dreams are more premonitions, I would still look down that route of premonition and how to control it, if there is a way to control it through sleep. And again, getting yourselves, I mean, at minute, everybody's out of routine. We go to bed sometimes and it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We're up for 7 o'clock next morning. Well, I am, because I don't sleep. John's normally up about an hour after me because I make too much noise for him to sleep. So he's normally up not long after me. And that's our routine for so many days. And then all of a sudden, we'll just sleep constantly all day one day because it's like we're catching up with sleep and stuff. But getting yourself into a routine, so going to bed about 11:30 maybe, and then doing an hour's, read a book. So you're reading a book for half an hour, something
a nice book, not anything that...
Yeah, not an horror, like a romantic novel, or if you're a man, read about something to do with an interest in of a hobby.
So don't say cars, probably Christine or something like that. I did have a lay down here after Rachel, after this afternoon.
I haven't remembered a dream in years. When I was 7 till about 12, I would dream, and it would happen to me exactly 3 days later. Wow. Yeah. So again, you could have shut you. It's when you got to 12, you could have, because then teenage years come in. It could be something that
certain
like you
foods can give you different dreams.
They can.
You always say, I don't. Again, it's probably an old wives' tale or a myth, but they say eating cheese before bed gives you nightmares, don't they?
But like with Bill saying that it like stopped when he was 12. Sometimes where children experience things to do with unexplained or paranormalish things and stuff like that, children they'll get to a certain age and it just stops for them, and because they don't pursue it and the other things in life take over, they tend to stop seeing spirit or stop communicating or stop the whatever's happening around, like your dreams and stuff. You might have hit 12 and hit the age of puberty, and your mind might have just changed, and that's what sort of like put a block on dreams. But because you've had them, it's something that you could possibly get back if it was something you wanted to go down. But from the advice of I think it was John that was saying it, if you've lost it, then don't bother, because sometimes it can be so hard when you get it back. And obviously everybody knows that this field and this how things are in this community, it's just not a nice time to be in this community for some, I don't think. Cheese is hard to digest. Evening, Mary. Hope you're well, my lovely. I know you're new to this chat, and Amelia's invited you across, so welcome, my lovely. I don't have cheese before I go to sleep. Cheese gives me nightmares. Apples give me nightmares. Certain foods. I find thinking about something completely removed from my day makes my dreams more interesting. It also stops bad dreams, as I tend to think about a medieval world with castles, knights, and dragons. See, that's a good one to do as well. You know,
cheese, chocolate.
If anybody does try any of these, like what Steve's put or what other people have put in chat or what John said, if anybody tries them, let us know after weekend, because it's not going to be something that's just going to switch into place tomorrow. But let us know on Monday Night Chit Chat whether any of these actually helped, or whether it might even make it worse. But hopefully it'll all make it well.
Don't sue us if it does, though.
Can't sue us because we're just not telling you to do it. I'm just saying you could. Cool. Mary's a
other
lovely
options
girl
are available.
Since college. I know, my lovely, you have. Yeah. Also, I know that if I sleep on my left hand side, I can remember my dreams more, or on my tummy. Yes. So again, it could be about the positions you're laying in when you're sleeping. It could be. Don't smile at me like that. It could be anything. No, it could be anything. That's
all about the position.
Yeah. Oh dear, is that it again? You know, weird, because apples are supposed to help you sleep before bed. Really, mate? No. If I have an apple or cheese, I have nightmares.
Apples are good insider to help you sleep.
Yeah, if I have the juiced apples, with an alcoholic bit, then that's okay. She's experienced spirit. Yeah, I know Mary's experienced spirit, my lovely.
Night, Penny.
She's told us. Night, Penny. I know we're getting off in a minute. We're nearly at the 2 hour mark. We tried to just do a 2 hour because out over 2 hours, it can be, we don't want to keep your lot away from things that you need to do as well. So, yeah. But I would like to say thank you to everybody joining us tonight. Maybe you were Snow White in another life. Me? No. I would never Snow White. But I have had a lot of life experiences for a person.
Wicked Witch.
Wicked Witch might be one, yeah. But yes, but no. Yes, but no, but yes, but no. I've got to find a new way of talking. I see lights and orbs at night. I know, Amelia. Keep sending your screenshots to us and post them in group and that, because everybody's been finding them really interesting. And Amelia, when are you next going to be live and working with Spirit Box or your pendulum or anything like that? I think it's Grandma. Yes. Well, I think it's your grandma too that's round you. I don't normally drink alcohol. No, I don't. Well, I don't normally. I do have the odd tipple every now and again, but not much due to meds. Good night all. Take care. Love and light to each and everyone. Thanks for tonight, guys. Enjoyed as usual. Bless you. But yes, thank you so much to everybody that's joined us. Thank you to all our moderators that have come on and helped moderate for us tonight. It's been a fantastic chat. Thank you to everybody that's took the time out to join us. Please like, share, subscribe, follow. If you've enjoyed what you're watching, please leave a heart or a thumbs up or something, because it does really go a long way for us. And thank you so much. If you've got any questions, just drop them in comments after the live ends, and we shall be happy to answer for you. So take care, sweet dreams. Have a good day if you're out at UK, and take care. We shall see you tomorrow.
We don't know what's happening yet. We have no idea.
Spirit box, maybe.
It will
we'll
be
see.
something.
Yes.